Hello and welcome to another enlightening episode of VJIM Podcast Series 1, Episode 3. This is Kusuma, your host, and now I'm here today with a topic that touches every household, every parent's heart, and every child's future: mindful parenting from connection to correction. In a world buzzing with competitive pressures and growing emotional disconnects, parenting isn't just about raising a child anymore. It's about raising emotionally strong, resilient, and highly empowered, balanced humans. But how do we do that? Our guest today is here to help us explore this powerful approach for reshaping families and transforming futures. So, whether you're a new parent, a seasoned one, or just planning to be, stay tuned. You're about to discover the gentle science and deep impact of mindful parenting. We are truly honored to welcome our distinguished guest who personifies discipline, compassion, and leadership, Professor Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh, Director of Vignan Jyoti Institute of Management, Hyderabad. A very warm and hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
An air veteran, academician, and administrator, Dr. Singh has more than 3 decades of rich and varied experience across industry and academia. He is a doctorate in management and also holds triple master's degree in political science, psychology, and management, giving him a rare, holistic perspective on both human behavior and leadership. He is a qualified management teacher and researcher, trained at top institutions like IIM Kozhikode, IIT Mumbai, and IIT Ahmedabad, and a Harvard certified case instructor as well. He has coached over 1,000 faculty members and professionals and trained more than 30,000 students in shaping lives, driving performance, and achieving success. An author of 3 insightful books: The Code of Success, Holistic Discipline, and Winning Campus Placements, Dr. Singh believes in the transformating power of mindset. In his own words, he strongly emphasizes that it is not the mind, but the mindset that matters. We are born to do tough jobs, expect challenges. He's also a qualified independent director from Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, a practicing graphologist, a fitness enthusiast, and a passionate reader with a deep interest in geopolitics, corporate governance, and biographies. Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh's philosophy of life, rooted in purpose, resilience, and service, makes him the perfect voice for today's conversation on mindful parenting from connection to correction. Sir, we are delighted to have you here with us today.
I'm looking forward to contributing in terms of making people understand how serious this particular field is.
Sure.
Thank you.
We would love to have that, sir.
Yeah.
And now let's start with something we all wonder about in today's world on this topic. Dr. Bharat Bhushan ji, why is parenting in such focus today? And why do you think many parents are unintentionally failing their children rather than shaping them into more stronger and successful, balanced humans?
Today, if you see world around, the rate at which things are changing and the kind of information our kids are subjected to on a daily basis, that is one part of the whole story. The second part of the story is the challenges which our children are facing. Parents are unable to appreciate it. Like, I remember my childhood, or probably your childhood, wherein we were raised by so many people in our family. Our ayahs has raised us, then our uncles, aunts, grandfather, grandmother, or maybe the whole village. But today, kids are alone, maybe in their PGs or whenever they are studying. The entire support system I'm talking about. And the second part is they are competing in a hyper world. So a sense of security is always hitting them. And that is where the whole epidemic of mental health people are talking about it. Now, in such scenarios, imagine a child who is going through some tough situation. Who is the person whom he can bank upon? Not friends, not colleagues, obviously not someone who is studying with him in the class. It's the parents. So, and then parents are day in, day out, every hours of the day, they are with the kids. The kid is staying with the parents. So whatever parents does has a consequences. Now the era of traditional parentings have gone wherein you can enforce discipline, you can ask children to do what you think they should do, you can command respect through force, you can ask them to fall in line with your line of command. So because many a time parents are not even able to comprehend what the real situation is, what the real problem is. So when they're giving a suggestion, it's not tenable.
Yes.
It's not what is to be done. In fact, the subject itself is not understood by them. So in that context, uh, who else will matter the most to the kid but the parents?
Yes.
And what is at fault? The parenting. And that is leading or pushing the child to the wall. And then they're finding no hope or probably no light because at home they're at a very serious stress. Yeah. So this is the situation today. Parenting is in the center today because it is the make or break situation. Parents can only do, nobody else.
Yes.
Nobody else can take the responsibility of a kid, of making them understand a scenario or probably grooming them, probably if they are having some situations, giving them a comfort, bringing them out of some stress level, some panic level.
Yes.
It's the parents' comfort and the confidence. So that is why this is in the center. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you so much. So beautifully put forward, sir. And sir, coming up next, actually, what exactly do you think is mindful parenting, and how is it different from the more traditional parenting with which we have all been brought up?
Yeah. So I would put it in a very simple way. Earlier, parents means an authority.
Yes.
Child has to be scared of them. They have to follow the rules what they set. They have to obey the instructions what they give. That is traditional parent. More like a discipline, more like a hard obedience, more like a power and authority.
Yes.
But mindful parentings, or someone even referred to as a positive parenting, is all about a parent's involvement in the journey of a child's development growth,
Yes.
challenges and issues. So when I'm talking about mindful, a parent is involved in terms of crafting his development process, growth, and how he or she navigates life. And in that process, probably you remember earlier days, our parents used to compare ourselves with the smartest kid in the class. Sharma ji ka beta or Gupta ji ka beta, kind of. And that was a norm. But today, this can drive a child into a depression.
Yes. Yes.
It can put him into a severe stress level.
Yes.
So mindful parenting is all about a parent tells his kids, you are important for me, you are valued, and whatever you are is good for us. We will work together to make you better. This is mindful. Whereas traditional will say, you are dumb, you are not better than Gupta ji ka beta or Sharma ji ka beta, and therefore I find you hopeless. Imagine a scenario. I mean, the child gets into a very tough situation with a traditional approach.
Yes.
So mindful approach is all about that. Being involved, being grooming, understanding their problem, accepting their deficiencies, accepting their flaws, and still valuing them. That gives a lot of psychological comfort, confidence, and hope to the children. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So well reflected on how parenting has evolved over time, or how fast per the present situations it is essential that we do real mindful parenting. Yeah. And so well begin is half done. And so how early should basically this journey begin? Why is it important to start mindful parenting practices early in the child's life?
Okay, I'll give you one research which was done by David Bloom. who was a professor of psychology from Chicago University, and he said when a child is about 5 years old, 80% of his brain is developed. And then remaining years, whatever is left in his life, that 20% is filling up. So if a child has to have an idea about their parents, if a child has to have an understanding and comfort about their parents and their involvement in their life, it's important that parents take interest in their life right from the early age, like spending time with them, listening to their stories, giving them some tasks which are small, or maybe challenging them gradually, letting them fail, and then reflecting from those failures. So that will build the essential aspect of life and its challenges from the early age. So they're prepared for all such things in the future as well. Now imagine a scenario wherein a child has been pampered throughout, not subjected to effective parenting aspects. And then later on in life, he faces some rough patches. And then since he hasn't learned the art of failing and then bouncing back, he feels like life is finished. You might have read a lot of reports in newspaper where it says one student, he scored 98% in CBSE, committed suicide because he was expecting 99%. Or IIT JEE, some results have come and by 1 or 2% he got into depression. So basically, life expects you to face such rough times early on and then learn from those challenges and failures and build a resiliency as you move forward. And when we start early, it sets in motion and the children become more adapt to such kind of failures, and then it will become easier for them to accept in future. If it is not done early age, then it's a flawed life. Later on it becomes very challenging. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Actually, it's really very important that the child feels that belongingness and that importance with the parents right from very early age. Thank you, sir. And sir, coming next, actually, many parents struggle with work-life balance a lot. Present day, actually, they're very busy, most of them. And how can they still practice this mindful parenting?
This is an off repeated questions I do get from many parents, that Purana Jamana nahi hai, it's not the olden days, then we cannot be involved more in our kids and we can't do anything. But I'll tell you everything, every solution is there in the technology today. So it's not about quantity, but about quality, quality of engagement with our kids. Earlier you had enough time, so you were playing cricket whole day or probably traveling within whole weeks or so. But if there is no time, still there are opportunities and there are methods through which we can engage with our kids. I'll give you a good example. Like for example, if the parents are very busy, so they can set up a kind of routine through which they will engage with their kids. Those routines could be like maybe car journey, they're traveling together, that's a engagement. Or probably when they are commuting, virtually connecting through mobile phones, or maybe on a dining table, engaging in a mindful conversation and extracting good informations, or probably contributing, making them laugh, making them learn something. All right. Weekends or maybe during holidays, delegating some household chorus which they perform, and they take responsibility of doing it. Maybe probably mowing lawn, or probably cleaning a house, or setting their study tables in order. Small things basically. What is happening is, whatever time you are having, you are engaging in a very qualitative fashion.
Yes.
And if you are not having time, then you are using technology to connect with your kids. And maintaining a continuous communication, a good communication, a qualitative communication. I'll give you my example. So my kids live at different places. So I'm not able to connect with them. But I make sure every day in the night, about half an hour, that is the scheduled time, everyone will come online, and then we review what all we did. And I listen to their stories more than I tell them. And if there are some challenges, they ask me solutions, what's my point of view, and I give my point of view based on what I think. And they also contribute. Similarly, if I want to do something, I ask their opinion. What do they think about it and how it can be done? So in that process, we are engaging in a very qualitative fashion, very high-end engagement, and it builds them as an confident individual who has a say in some of the strategic matter of our families. So that is how we should be engaging. We should not complain we don't have time. Use whatever time we have. It's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Yes, sir. So well said that it's not quantity of time, but it's quality time, and that to the heart to really get connected with these kids. Thank you. And sir, not everything we hear about parenting is actually really found true. Some ideas really need a quality check. And sir, could you share some common myths or misunderstandings about parenting as such, that to mindful parenting, which you often come across?
Yeah, like for example, today most of the parents are saying that new age kids, we are calling them as Gen Zs, they are entitled individually. They feel entitled. When we do mindful parenting or positive parenting, it smacks like we are entailing them to feel entitled. But that is not the point. The point is they are feeling entitled because we have good resources with us and we are able to lend those resources to our kids. So what they want, it's rightly available. There is no struggle for them. But the myth about they are feeling entitled is wrong, because parenting does put certain challenges. I'll give you one example of some of the podcasts where I've heard some of the rich people, how do they groom their kids? So they put challenges in front of them and expect them to solve those challenges and then only be entitled for something, right? So though you have everything what you think you should have, but still to get that you have to achieve certain level. You have to complete your education. You have to achieve certain grades. So mindful parenting is all about fixing responsibilities, putting goals, letting the kids learn from the failures, and whatever they want to achieve has to go through a process. So this myth is wrong. Second myth is like mindful parenting is all about making children happy always. But that is not the case. See, earlier in a traditional parenting methods, we used to shout. We used to punish our kids. We used to belittle them sometimes in front of our colleagues and relatives. But today, we want to groom our kids in a positive manner, not in negative manner. So even if I want to advise something, I want to advise in a happy ways. I want to involve my kids in the whole learning process by not telling them you have failed. Like for example, if there are 5 subjects and he has not done well in 2 subjects, so traditional parentings will focus on why you have not done in these 2 subjects. What is wrong with you? And you go to the teacher who is teaching that and questioning her, why punish these kids or give him some assignments he's not doing. But I'm not talking about those 3 subjects where he has done exceptionally well. Positive parenting will appreciate. Mindful parenting will tell, you have done so well. Awesome, good. Congratulations for that. I think some areas of improvement I can see in these 2 subjects. And since you are already great in these 3 subjects, there is no reason why you will not excel. And I'll pat on the back. He gets the signal that I'm concerned, and he also gets a signal of encouragement.
Yes.
And that makes him to work better. That is what this is all about. So this is second myth, that it's all about happiness. That's wrong. Same was the entitlement. Third myth about positive parenting is that it does not care too much. It's a happy-go-lucky kind of settings wherein if he learns also good, if he doesn't learn also it's good. Parents are okay with whatever he's doing it. So there's no enough challenge for the kid in mindful parenting, which is also referred to as positive parenting. But that is not the case. The case is here. The mindful parenting is trying to put focus on the kids, that whatever you are, I'm valuing what you are, but do great in whatever way you think is better, not what I think is better. That is the difference. And I trust in your effort. I'm not being critical about your effort. And you are valued in this family. Whatever you achieve, it is valued. So this myth about happy-go-lucky and nobody is making accountable, or maybe everything is good, whatever you do. It's not the case. It's like being positively involved in incremental changes. Whatever the kid is capable of, he achieves that. So that is what these three myths I think is wrong over here.
True, sir. Finally, like you have given good awareness, basically, that yes, it's about building more positivity and boosting the morale of the child.
Yes.
Through positive.
Because see, if you follow child psychology, it says learning and development about a human is 99% about encouragement.
Yes.
1% effort.
Yes.
So if that is missing, then the table turns. 99% effort and 1% encouragement, nothing is going to come.
Right, sir. And one of the toughest tests for any parent is handling an emotional storm in a tiny body. How do you think parents should deal with tantrums or emotional outbursts in a constructive way?
Perfect. It's a very good question. And that is where the whole situation arises, when we are not able to handle the emotions. And it requires a very deep understanding about human emotions. So my advice to all parents is that be a good listener today. When you listen and when your kids are able to vent their thoughts, vent their emotions, they are already relaxed. Second, the child psychology is like this. The moment you criticize them, they become rebellious.
Yes.
They are coded like that. So don't become critical of what their thought is or what they are thinking about it, or what they feel about it. They have a view. Listen. And why lot of emotional outbursts and tantrums are seen nowadays? Because of screen time. So kids are not communicating enough. So they are not able to actually articulate their feeling. So if they are angry, they will shout instead of communicating that I am angry. If I am not happy with somebody, I will throw something on him rather than I am telling that I am not happy with it, because they are not communicating. So now, how do we overcome such thing? The question was dealing with tantrum and emotions, letting them communicate more. And when they are communicating, you don't try to engage them with your counter views. Again, that creates a lot of stress over there. Listen to them. If they are angry, don't react. That further fuels to the fire. And third, a scenario is, for example, they have not done well. So they are already angry because of their performance. So when they come home and when you further add up, so it again creates a kind of stress level which they express little violently or emotionally. Yes. So if they have not done well, try to figure out why they have not done well and try to point out if some silver line is available and appreciate that. For example, a chartered accountant girl or a boy who gave final chartered accountancy examination and failed by 2 marks. Let's say after 2-3 attempts also they have failed by 2 marks. So a parent who is highly critical will simply come and say, "What is this?" After 3-4 attempts also you couldn't make it, and that will create a lot of stress on the kids, and sometimes they'll become violent. And if you say, like, last time you missed by 5 marks, already you are inching closer. Next time anyway you are going to make it. Don't worry. It's just about 2 marks more. And then a pat on the head or a back, and smile, listening to the reasoning part, letting them communicate more, and not engaging in such heated situation for a long time will avoid this kind of tantrum scenario. Kids are also looking for a kind of sponge to soak their stress. If they are shouting, the parent should not shout back. Then it will escalate further. You, we should listen to them, and then after sometimes, if you can reason out through a communication, it will be able to douse the fire, and you will gradually improve the engagement with your kids, minus this kind of scenario. Yeah.
Truly, sir, it's really very good to soothe in their emotional outbursts instead of trying to be violent ourselves.
Yes.
So it's an easier way, or maybe a more practical way of trying to figure out the situation in a positive manner.
Correct. Because sometimes what happens is we are at certain age, they are at certain age. We are trying to compare our mental level with them, our physical level with them, and that's where we are trying to argue with them. There is no equal field for us to argue.
Yes.
So we should just try to overcome that scenario with more communication, with more listening, with withdrawing from such situations and coming back again and resolving them.
Yes. Very thoughtful. And sir, we want all our kids to be strong and self-reliant. But how do we build that from within? How can mindful and positive parenting help in building resilience and self-discipline in the child?
Good. This is something quite deficient today in most of the kids, even in my institutions. When I see an adult parent who is doing his PZ or her PZ, parents coming to represent the kids and telling the problem of the kid. These are the very common scenario when parents visit the institutions and express something on behalf of the kids, where the kid is already adult.
Yes.
He or she is capable of expressing.
Yes.
So it's a very valid question. How do we make them resilient and winner? Okay. So it's a gradual process. I keep telling most of the parents I meet across is, see, let child take his decisions right from the very early age. Like, for example, if I take my kids to the restaurant, I should not decide what family should eat. He should decide what he wants to eat. Let's say my kid is about 18, 20 years and he wants to buy a jeans. I should just give him some money and I give a set a boundary. This is the budget. You go and buy your jeans. He may not make a proper decisions probably, but he will learn a lot through that process because he has to be within that limit. So he has to search a shop. He has to find a color. A lot of variables he has to actually navigate before he finally gets it. But imagine a scenario, you simply go and buy a jeans for him. You have deprived him a lot of learning. So making our kids resilient, strong, and capable is all about letting them do those small things and take responsibility for it. Okay. So in that process, they will fail. That failure and embarrassment will make them better. Because see, you might be a very, very smart kid, but if you're not resilient, then tomorrow the test of the environment will expect you to face it with a lot of resilience. And if that is not there, you'll crumble. You might be a very smart person, but you will crumble because you have not gone through this kind of process. It's very, very important for us to challenge our kids like this. Small tasks, small activities. And through that process, making them learn. Like, for example, if a child has to taken admission into a college. Most parents do their own checking up, browsing, and checking with their colleagues.
Yes.
That's not your job. You do, but don't let the kids know that. Let them search, come out with 4 or 5 options, and then ask why do they think it's the best option. And if you have something you can add, what they should do. Similarly, you want to visit to the college, they should plan the whole itinerary, what time to start, what time to come, whom to meet. If they're meeting somebody, they have to start the conversation, not you as a parent. You can chip in if they want. Yeah. In home, if some celebrations has to happen, from cradle to grave, all planning is theirs. They should do that. Many parents don't let them do, maybe because of ignorance or maybe it's a routine process. House needs painting. Let them decide a color. Sometimes they will make fun of those colors. Fine, it's okay. But they learn a lot because there is a budget involved, there is a plan involved, and then color coding. If something goes wrong, they have to be responsible. Let them take a call. So I advise parents to let their kids decide small things and be responsible for the consequences of such decisions. That will build them better
Yes.
as an individual.
Yes, exactly. How truly mindful parenting can show its impact on building resilient child.
Yes.
And the teen years really feel like a battlefield, sir. And do you think this at this particular age, communication could help overcome the challenge?
Teen is volcano. Hormonal changes are happening. Friends looks more closer than parents. Everyone is enemy other than our friends. It's a very, I would say, unique period in anybody's life, teenage. And dealing with teenage is a very sensitive period. So I always advise parents that you should be more like a friend with your teenage kids, but not friend. So there's a difference between being friend and not exactly a friend. You have to draw a line. So basically, try to understand their situation, the situation through which they're going, and what is causing them to have a kind of thinking or a kind of belief. Be very mindful about their surroundings and the kind of people they are hanging out, because this is the time where a lot of accidents and other things happen, especially with female kids and so. So parents has to be little ultra, or I would say extra alert about teenagers and engage them in more creativity, activity, or quality the association within the family, so that they don't find happiness out of the family.
Yes.
Because the moment they start finding happiness out of the family, you have lost the case.
Yes.
The home becomes a battleground and everyone looks better than the parents. And that is where the parents are losing out the respect and probably the authority as well. So I always ask my parents that during teenage, treat the kids with little extra care and involve them in a more constructive way, positive way, listening to their problems more than giving an opinion about their problems. Listening itself will solve 80% of the problem. I said it's a volcano period, so a lot of energy they have. So channelize those energy into a little constructive way. Give them some tasks so that they are mentally involved, physically involved. Like for example, cleaning the car. Everyone cleans the car together. Probably going for a trek.
Yes.
Everyone goes for a trek. Then they come back and they fall asleep. Joining a gym. Constructive things. So that they're utilizing the energy in a positive way. If they're idle, then things goes out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, like how that more getting connected with them and maybe more of that emotional connection with the child is really very important. Because how that better communication between them can make them feel that parents are the best, or maybe there's no one beyond that to go in search of.
Sometimes what happens, no, I'll give you a small example, you understand. I met one parent and he said, my child is not talking to me. I said, what happened? And he said, one day I told him, monkey. Are you a monkey? So during our days, this was a normal phenomena where our parents used to tell us, donkey, monkey, whatever.
Yes.
Today, kids are very sensitive.
Yes.
So, and then I said, what happened later? Now he's saying, my name is X. Why you're calling me monkey? So this is happening because they are matured enough to understand the meaning of that word. So they're literally taking that. They're not taking it as a fun. When we were growing, probably we were thinking in that fashion. But today, kids are very serious. So they don't want any hanky-panky communication. They want straight communication, good communication, responsible communication. So we have to understand. The second point is you can't communicate with a kids with a 55 years, 60 years age mentality. You have to become a kid. So go down to that emotion level. Then probably you will be emotionally connecting. Sometimes lower down your judgment or thinking process and get involved into all these things. And then they get a confidence in you and then open up and share everything.
Yes.
So there are tricks actually. Probably some effort is required from the parents basically to understand. It's a really important part because our kids are our life. If we minus our kids, then there is no purpose of life.
Yes.
And why are we living and why we are working so hard? So we must take every care what it requires to shape them up to the best citizens we can. That's the point.
Screens and independence, boundaries, the modern day parenting juggling. We move amongst all these. In today's digital age, how can parents create a balanced environment that encourages both discipline as well as independence?
I'll give a small example and probably you'll understand what is the importance of independence. You might have seen a small kid in our home. He don't want to be controlled. You catch his hand and he wants to get out. And he wants you to open the door. He just wants to go and freely run around. That is the intent of a child or anybody. They want to be free. They want to be independent. But if we allow those kids that kind of freedom, they will go and fall on the staircase maybe, or they will hit somewhere and they will injure themselves. So that is where the whole balance is all about, freedom and control. In today's world, when we are juggling with a lot of screen time, as you are suggesting, a lot of commute time, and everyone has a lot of things to achieve, nobody wants any sort of interventions or a control. So how do we manage is a challenge. So I was earlier talking about that today kids, they want to be independent, but at what cost? So I'll give you one example and it will connect with what we were talking about, mindful parenting. So there was a parent, he was worried because his daughter was planning an independent trip to a hill station with her friends. She's working somewhere, so she was planning a trip. And he was scared because all are bachelors and there are boys and all those things, hill station, then drugs, then alcohol, lot of stuff. So it was bothering him. So he told his daughter, please don't go. And she's not listening because obviously friends and she's thinking, everything positive. She's not able to see anything that can go wrong. Whereas the parent is thinking about it.
Yes.
Child safety, security and everything. Then he asked me, what should I do? I said, do one thing. You speak to your child, your daughter, and tell her one thing. Fine, you go, I have no issues. You give me in writing that if anything goes wrong, the consequences of anything goes wrong is solely on mine. My parents have said this not to do, but I am going on my own. I will bear complete responsibility. Give me this paper and then I will write. The thought itself of putting things in paper has triggered a different kind of imagination in her mind. And then after 2 days, she dropped her idea of going with the friends. Because now things have become serious where the parent is saying, the father is saying the consequences part. So you are taking a decision, but probably the consequences you are putting on the parents. Here I am drawing a line, be independent, but consequences is yours. So that is how we can bring little bit of order in all part. Like for example, some kids will say, I want to do this, not this. And you are saying, no, this is better for you. However, if you are doing this, the consequences is yours. Bring that responsibility part. So they will start listening to your point of view as well. Because it cannot be that they take a decision independently, but if something goes wrong, they say like, why you not stop me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so treat them in that way. Then probably the boundary will be quite manageable rather than we don't know how to deal with that situation.
Leaving the key in their hand so that they know how to operate.
Operate. Yes, 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 yes. You rightly
Or
said.
the difficulty in the operation, at least they understand.
Correct, correct, correct.
Fine, sir. And now, especially for the evidence loving parents out there, what does the science say? Are there any scientific studies or researches, sir, that support the effectiveness of positive and mindful parenting?
There are enough empirical data, especially if you go through Google Scholars on a lot of research which are done on child development or child psychology or cognitive improvements in children through this process of mindful parentings. It says very clearly, most of the outputs or research says very clearly that any kind of affirmative, positive interventions in a child has a positive impact. Anything which is hard, which is negative, which is controlling, which is emotionally stressful, it doesn't develop them. The framework doesn't develop in a very healthy way. Though they will reach to a certain level, but the scare of that childhood always remains on them. So it's like two school of thought always. Someone, even in spite of all these evidences, there are still parents who says, without stick, child is a spoiled child. Yes. You spare a stick, and you spoil a child. That is the kind of line people talk about it. But psychology says differently. Psychology says anything which is positive, anything which is helping a child to realize his mistakes, anything which is collaboratively done together, it is done. Anything which is not critical, which is not harsh, which is not authoritative, is always better, and the result says accordingly. So there are enough proof of that. Yeah.
And sir, what do you feel can educational institutions and parents collaborate using mindful parenting frameworks to address especially the behavioral issues or learning challenges in students?
I think that is the most important part of the whole thing. We have been talking about mindful parenting. It cannot happen minus school. And that is where most of the good schools, they have started reducing child to teacher ratio. Earlier it used to be 40, 50, 60 sometimes. Now they are bringing down 20s to 1. Because the complexity of the world is rising, every child needs individual attention. Yes. And individual attention not only of the teacher, but also along with teacher, the parents. So if anything very serious happen, the teacher and the parent and the child, these all three triangles make it happen. So in today's world, as we move forward, the individual attention part is driving this. So obviously the school has to come into the framework of this aspect. And apart from that, even if you see the policy interventions from the government, even government is very concerned about all those things, and they are bringing in lot of rules, regulations, and policies. How children has to be treated in the school, how teacher has to engage with the children. There are a lot of things that have been debarred today, which was a very normal practice earlier, about canning and about punishing and all those things that have been totally removed because the science says that these are all harmful things. And the last part you were talking about, how school will be playing a part of it, because as I said, early age, the development all is happening at a very fast pace, and school is the center point of learning. So any behavioral deficiency, any emotional challenges, any stress, it is being identified there. Sometimes kids are not confiding in the parents and not able to tell what they are going through, but teachers are able to. They are able to extract.
Yes.
So that is where they can become a really pillar or a contributor in terms of interventions on this mindful parenting. It's a very, very, very important aspect.
Yes.
And I feel many schools have already started also.
Yes.
So I always see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Today's scenario is little complex, and I am sure parents will understand this part after listening to our podcast, and they will go back and probably reflect on what all the mistakes they are making it, so that they become the best friend of their kids, best guide of their kids, best mentor of their kids. Thank you. Yeah.
Great, sir. Great. And that was a very meaningful and insightful conversation, sir, with you today. And thank you so much, Professor Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh ji, Director of Vignan Jyoti Institute of Management, Hyderabad, for your valuable suggestions, especially towards mindful parenting. That especially parenting isn't only about perfection. It doesn't mean permissiveness. It means being present and there for the kid, being firm as well as kind, setting boundaries, and also building bridges for the child with great balance. And the way you respond today is going to echo for their tomorrow, mind you, all the audience who are here with us today. And as we sign off, remember you are your child's first teacher, role model, and safe place. And the way you respond today will echo through their tomorrow. Thank you so much, viewers. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you, sir, and thank you, viewers. Thank you all.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you.